Hello everyone. So today we're going to be looking at how to find the midpoint of a line. And so what we want to kind of think about is how do you find the halfway point between 2 points on a coordinate plane? And we'll talk about why that works and the formula for the midpoint. So here on my coordinate plane, I have graphed a line. And so we have these coordinates for our line segment. It is -4 for the x, sorry, and 4 for the y. So we go over on our -4 and up on our y-axis, and we get the point here. And then for the next point of our line, we have 5 for the x and then -6 for the y. So I have this line segment right here, and I want to be able to find the halfway point between these two lines. And I want it to be exact. So halfway would be the midpoint. We would call that the middle, right? And so how can we go about finding the middle of this line? I can kind of guess, I think it might be around here maybe, but we want to find it exactly. So the one way we can do this is by using our points and finding halfway between the x's. So if I find the middle, the midway point of my x and then the midway of my y, I'm going to be able to find the plot or the point on our coordinate plane that would give me the middle. So if we think about the midpoint formula, I have called -4 is our x1 and 5 is x2. The 4 is y1 and the -6 here is the y2. So first we're going to look at our x. We're going to do this formula of I'm going to add my x's together and then divide that by 2 because that's going to give me the halfway point between those two numbers. So if I have -4 plus 5, that gives me 1. And then I'm going to divide that by 2 and that gives me 0.5 or half. So then I know that my x point is going to be 0.5, which is, here's 0. And then we're going to go halfway between 0 and 1. That would be 0.5. Now I want to find, I'm going to do that same thing with my y and figure out the halfway point between the y's. So for y, we have 4 and -6. So I'm going to add those two together, and that will give me -2. And then I'm going to divide that by 2, and that gives me -1. So my y is -1. So if I look here and I know my x is 0.5 and my y is -1, now I can plot that point on my coordinate plane here. So I am going to go ahead and, okay, here is our 0.5 on our x. And then if I go down -1, that right there is going to be our midpoint. So now I can plot that midpoint. So why does that work? Why does that make sense? Well, if we think about, if I find the middle or half of both y and x, and then I plot that, I know that's going to be exactly the middle of this line. And we could practice that with some more lines, but for the sake of the length of the video, I didn't want to make too much to make this too long. But hopefully that helps in explaining how we would find the midpoint, the middle of a line on a coordinate plane. So thank you so much.